specifically, how much give do we want to put in collateral? How much Fey are we actually going to borrow? Where are we getting that give to collateralize this loan? Where are we getting it from? And where does the give go? Do we make a new multi-sig? What is our strategy to pay back the loan? And how do we know when we want to borrow things? And actually, I move a little bit. I think it's like here, because it makes more sense. Okay, so let's just start with a quick overview. There's this great forum post. I think many of you have read it, but this is the source. Oh, and also I should share this link. This link is in the calendar invite, but I'll just put it in the governance channel so that anyone can jump into this doc. Hey, Willie!
Hey, sorry guys. Didn't see it on my calendar, but thank you for the ping.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you for coming in, and especially on your no meeting Friday. Thanks a lot.
Best day ever. Thanks, dude.
Yeah, do you have any intentions for the call?
My intentions is to get to the bottom of these Regen pool parameters, identify the best parameters, and launch this awesome Regen pool. Excited about this.
Okay, boom. Then let's dive in. So yeah, quick overview. The goal here is not just the Regen pool. In fact, the Regen pool is means to an end. We are going for an angel vault, and that's what started this, and so that we want to stay focused on that. So, but the cool thing is, to get an angel vault, we end up with a Regen pool, our own stable token, and the actual goal, which is a structured UniV3 farm that will be beneficial to our liquidity, better than the old UniV3 farm ever could have been. So we get these three products in one fell swoop. Well, it won't be one fell swoop. It'll be a lot of work to get there. It'll be multi months probably to really get there. But here's the system. So we're gonna probably focus most of our attention on give holders to try to get them to put in money into. They're gonna deposit Fey into our Regen pool, and then we are gonna put up collateral. Giveth is gonna put up collateral to then borrow the Fey that the give holders deposited. Now, to get the give holders to deposit, we're also going to create a give stream and pay interest on their deposit. So we have to pay interest in Fey, and to incentivize stablecoin like staking, we'll also offer a give stream. Now, once we get this Fey, we're going to use that with extra give to mint the one give token, and then we're going to deposit the one give token into the Angel Vault so that we can launch the Angel Vault with big collateralization. Yeah. Now, what's really cool about this is not only do we do all that, but then we have an opportunity to really push on this degen to regen thing. And we'll have some really cool stablecoin opportunities in our farm. I mean, that should bring in a diverse crowd. Really good stablecoin returns on Fey deposits. And then after that, maybe we turn that off later or something. We'll talk about that. But one give each LP, right? We'll be able to incentivize people to put money into the Angel Vault. And that's effectively a stablecoin return. And then we should consider moving one give to XDAI so we can pay everybody in one give. And we might even want to create a farm for that, which would be another interesting stable farm for people to participate in, which are in high demand all the time. So yeah.
Is there a curve on Gnosis chain yet? Or like a curve equivalent?
I haven't seen curve on Gnosis chain yet.
I mean, someone's got to do that. Yeah, there's an idea.
Yeah. Any short questions, especially from people who kind of know what we're talking about this process? Okay, moving on. Sorry, we have a lot to go through, so that's good. Regen's pool scope. So one of the things I really want to push on is this idea that, yes, we're going to have a Regen pool, but let's not play too hard with it now. Let's stay focused on the Angel Vault. And that's the goal. And so we're going to end up with our own, effectively Aave lending and borrowing pool. And we could build off of that when we want. But the goal right now is to get this Angel Vault. So let's keep the scope as minimum as possible. In fact, I don't even think we should really promote the regen pool at all. We can just put a card on our Give Farm page that says deposit Fae here and explain to people why they're depositing the Fae, and then and then keep going from there.
One thing to add there, I agree with that. I do think that if we do need to get more liquidity in there, one thing we can do with Turbo launching is reach out to any of the DAOs, including Shapeshift, who's going to be on there, and say the way that Turbo works is it gives the ability for these DAOs to basically mint Fae with their governance token as collateral, and then deposit it into any Rari pool to basically generate yield. And I think it'd be a great way for DAOs to basically get yield on their tokens and also support Giveth and do good. So if we need more Fae, that could be a perfect way to like not promote it broadly, but just reach out to those DAOs on Turbo and ask them, say, hey, would you guys deposit some Fae in our Regen pool, and you can stake it and get a give stream for your treasury.
Yeah, that's definitely a good source, especially when they can just mint.
Totally. And I'll make the case for Shapeshift to throw some in there too.
Yeah, and I think if they mint, they actually just get the Fae, right?
Yeah, I haven't used it yet, so I don't know exactly how it works, but you're supposed to be able to mint Fae, but then the only thing you can do with it is deposit into Rari pools, and I don't know how they enforce that, but that's how I understand it. Yeah.
Well, that's cool. Okay, so you'll only be able to deposit into other Rari pools. Well, that's super cool, because it's not like we'll turn off the Rari pool. It'll still be there. In fact, Giant Kin went through the effort of getting it verified so that...
nice. Go GK.
Yeah. Praise GK. But it will... it might be more visible than we even need it to be. But this is a good point, that it's a good thing. But yeah, so is there anyone who really would disagree with this idea of like minimizing the effort around the regen pool and really just focusing on as like, you know, we're going to stake the Fae there and then we're going to borrow it and not worry about people borrowing and lending other assets?
Wait, my question.
I think that makes sense. Go ahead.
My question is that, like, so the way that people will be depositing Fae, though, is like through our UI, right? So it's like Regen Farm is like the secret backend that we never talk about.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even realize that. That's interesting. But we will still have, like you said, the UI on Rari. People can deposit there.
Yeah,
yeah,
but it will show the APR as being 0, I think, because of the way we want to use our give stream thing. So we have to make like the weird token that like then makes our contract.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the main and that's the big push why we have to put it on our own UI. And I think we'll have to do that with the Ichi pool as well, because we want to give streaming rewards. And it's really hard to get a price of that streaming token and then give that to their UI and da-da-da.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. What do you think about, are you guys think like the farming for sure makes sense to put on the Give Farm so we can do the stream? What about providing liquidity there like we do with the other cards where we just point to the UI to, you know, deposit Fae and then you bring back your Rari Regen Fae and stake it. Then you do Ichi to mint 1 give or to deposit it into the Angel Vault, and then you come back to the Give Farm to stake your LP.
Yeah, exactly. They'll have to. Yeah, exactly. We'll have to send them to Ichi to actually deposit, but then we stake for the LP on the Angel Vault. Yes, but for depositing Fae, they don't have to go anywhere. They will just have Fae in their wallet, go to the Give Farm, put Fae there, and we do the rest.
Cool. Even better if we can do that. Yeah.
Don't forget there is a small percentage that we have that they will get anyway. So keep that in mind for the give stream part.
Yeah, you mean the percent of Fae that they are returned?
Well, the modal we chose, it's, you know, as the more utilization, the higher the interest and the deposit is. Not that that right there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, exactly. So, but so they'll get a percentage. I think we'll save this for the next parameterization call, the details here, but it is true. They will be returned a little bit of Fae and a give stream. So that's kind of nice.
Find out that there's a curve system. I sent you a DM about it. There's some kind of plug-in system that's kind of new that actually somebody's using a curve stream thing to give to people, and it was like 2 different coins at once. I don't understand that, but I did send a DM to you about it.
Yeah.
So there's always weird crap. Oh, it might be in a thread. That thread I put in public there.
Yeah. So anyway, I don't want to get too caught into all the details. Let's see, who is this? But yeah, I want to just keep going through. Oh yeah, Sorab. Okay, you just turned from Buffy Corn to human. It's super cool. Nice to see your face, man. Cool. So next is roadmap.
In there. So the idea is to keep minimal communication and not really advertise the borrowing and lending thing, but we do want to advertise and make communication efforts to bring the Fae in, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And we'll tell people that they're depositing it and we're going to borrow it and it's going to help us get to our angel vault and all these things, right? We'll tell the people that, but we won't need to point them to the Rari Pool UI.
Okay.
That's
okay, that makes sense.
The Rari Pool UI will just confuse the hell out of them because it'll be like broken. It'll be like what bad APR numbers or something, who knows.
Okay, I totally agree with that.
Okay, cool. So next is roadmap. So there's a lot of things going on. I just want to run through what the roadmap looks like. So first, we have today answering the scope questions, right? Next week, ideally early next week, Monday, Tuesday, we parameterize the pool and go deeper into actual numbers. So it's not just the pool, it's also the rewards and how long the rewards, lots of questions there. Right now, we need to sort out this 10% agreement with Faye, and I know Yas is working on that. We also need to confirm, unfortunately, Amin has been out this week, but and Pavle also was kind of MIA, so we need to confirm the technical feasibility of the Regen pool, like making sure that we can actually create our own UI and call the functions in the Regen pool. I'm pretty confident we can. I'm also pretty confident that we can stream the GiveStream rewards. I ended up just having to look it up myself, and it looks like it should just work. So, but we do need confirmation from Amin and Pavle that we can make it work. And then we actually need to make some votes, right? So we need to vote for the give. We need to. We're going to try to get funds from multiple sources, probably. So we need a bunch of votes to go through. Then we're going to put this card up on staging, and there's going to be dev time. We're going to deploy the fake card live and start a countdown, right? So like the same thing we did with the Regen farm, right? The little countdown card, stuff like that. And then we just need to gather around 800K in Fae, which in stablecoin terms for staking, that's really small. So it shouldn't be so hard to get people to put that much money in. And then we have to go talk to Ichi and get them to launch our one give token, which will also take time. I don't even know how much time. And then we need to start, but while that's already happening, we need to be starting to work on how are we going to get the GiveStream rewards on, this is not Regen Pool, on Ichi LP. So we'll have to just confirm that we can actually deposit those staking rewards in the EGLP. Then we do the same thing on our front end where we create a little card on the farm, and we have like an EGLP staking so we can get the angel farm rewards going. And then then we launch, and then it's launched really, because that's the real goal. We want to launch the angel vault. And also, the awareness campaign that comes with launching it as a farm is going to be huge. So, yeah. And there's, of course, going to be a lot of details in here that aren't accounted for, but I figured this is the beginning of the roadmap, and just giving you guys a preview might be useful.
I can see the path. For row 16, I mean, it should. I don't see any reason why it wouldn't be feasible, because the EGLP is just another ERC20 token, so like it should just work the same as any of the other LPs that we stream rewards to, if they stake it on our farm.
Cool. And so we wouldn't need to use their farm, right?
Yeah, they have the farming contracts and stuff. They have that available. But if we do that, then I think we wouldn't have the give stream rewards, or maybe more complicated. But I think we could just use our own farming contracts, just like we do for like the Regen farm stuff. Yeah.
Nice. That's great. Okay, cool. So I'll just make this red and move on.
Cool.
Okay. Anything else on this roadmap? My initial calculations, and they're not perfect, is that it'll take us about a month to get the whole development and everything launched, even if we take it in parallel, just because of voting and things like that. And I'm imagining delays. It'll take us about a month from today. So I think we could launch this by the end of next month, at least to get the Fae. And then to actually get the Angel Vault up, because when we get the Fae, now we have to deal with Ichi. There's a lot of unknowns. And so I think we can get all the Fae within a month. But then Ichi, I don't know how long it's going to take to turn Fae into one give and launch the Angel Vault. Actually, Willie, do you have any thoughts on that? How long did it take you guys once you had the money and handed it to them?
It was very quick. They pretty much had the contracts ready to go, especially once we handed them the money. I remember for our proposal too, there was like a payment in USDC for like launching it, and that payment it pretty much went towards into the one Fox to kind of seed some initial collateral there. And initially, so when it came time to pay for it, we were like, oh, we don't have the USDC right now. We don't really want to sell Fox on the market to do this. And they were really cool about it. They were like, you guys can just send us the Fox and we'll hold it because we're a long Fox. It was really awesome for them. And they put in USDC. So
wow, nice.
I don't know what have they told us? Are they charging us at all to launch one give? Are they doing it for free? Cool.
Doing it for free, it sounds like. And we're just, I mean, at least that was the deal before they had this whole crazy thing with their token. So we have to reopen that conversation.
Totally. Yeah, I will say that was a total fiasco, but I've been talking to them a lot lately, and they seem super confident. They've been getting a lot of support from their investors, their backers, other top projects in the community that took notice of Ichi and see like, okay, clearly you guys did something wrong with the Rari pool, but the one tokens, the Angel Vaults, that you guys were onto something there. So that's been really cool to see. And yeah, I'm actually been really impressed. They had offered us this market making deal where we're going to like loan Fox to them, and they're going to put one Fox into the Angel Vault for us. And at the end of 6 months, we can actually get back protocol and liquidity. It's a very interesting deal. And we thought that was off the table after the fiasco, but it's they're pushing it through their governance and it's back on the table. So really, that's really encouraging to see that, like how much, and proof that they're getting some good support from their backers. So I'm optimistic from what I've seen so far that they're going to come out of this stronger.
That's great. That's great news. Okay.
With
So
the timing of the Angel Vault, I remember when I was talking to one of their team members, they mentioned roughly it takes around 2 weeks if there are no specific or kind of really difficult, complex technical requirements. So I think we can maybe count on that time frame.
Awesome.
Okay, great. Then let's start going into the real questions that we need to answer, right? So, how much give what over collateralization do we want to use, basically? So now the next question will be how much Fae do we want? But I think we can do this in percentages, right? So and kind of guessing on what the give price should be. I'll just delete this because I didn't actually finish writing that paragraph. What the actual percentages should be, and what price of give token we should estimate on. What's the lowest price of give token that we should base our estimates on, and then at that lowest price, what do we want the collateralization to be, and then what's the max over collateralization? When do we start pulling money out? When do we start pulling give tokens out? Do we pull give tokens out? And I'd be curious if anyone has any thoughts on these.
Yeah, I mean, I think we can start with we can start throwing some numbers out there and see how people feel about it. So what should be the percent of collateralization? or like maybe I guess this is the minimum. What should be the minimum percent of collateralization? Yeah. I certainly don't think we should ever go under. I think we should target staying at least over like 50%. Yeah, 200%. Let's say so. Anytime that we see that we're about to go under 50%, that would say, okay, we should deposit some more give collateral so that in the event that shit hits the fan and we have a 50% red day, another March 12th, 2020, we're not going to get liquidated. How does that sound?
Yeah.
I think that just considering that, say that we have 200% and something really bad happens with the price, I think that with the proposal, we have to have some give that is more liquid and it doesn't require a bureaucratic procedure to get into it as more collateral just in case.
That's a great point. Like having some give, making sure we have give at the ready so that we don't have to pass a long proposal to get it deposited in. Great call.
And I was thinking 250 would be the minimum.
So maybe in the proposal, because we have some given the liquidity multi-sig, maybe we could approve in the proposal that like in the event that this happens, the liquidity multi-sig has approval to deposit more collateral.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of give them that pre-approval.
We can't write give. Can't write give very well. That's hard.
And 50%, I wouldn't be against even going higher than 50% or higher. Yeah, like to 250% minimum. I think is justifiable as well, just to be extra safe. We got a lot of give. If we can put some extra give in there just to sleep better at night, I think it's worth it.
Yeah, I agree. And then I think there's what do we start with? And maybe we start with making an estimate of a price, give price, and a collateralization at that price. So what's the lowest price of give you guys could imagine seeing? For me, it's 10 cents. At least in the next 6 months.
Yeah.
Anybody else got numbers? I mean, everyone, you have to pull it out of your ass. There's no.
I was going to say 15, but 10 is lower, so I'd go with 10.
10 is the lowest. Never will get below.
If we get to 10 cents, I'll start selling my body for a give.
Okay.
I'll say 15 just for some balance.
Great. And then, what kind of collateralization number? Well, okay. And so then if we're at that number, what should our target collateralization be for that number? Should it be the 250 or should it be 300%? I mean, we have abundance of give. It's not like...
Well, I think the 250 would be the number you want to set for the worst case scenario.
Okay. Yeah, so 250% at 10 cents, basically. And then it could go lower than 10 cents and we'd still have collateralization.
Mm-hmm. And have we talked about LTV yet? Because I guess that'll be a big factor in this. Okay.
That'll be tomorrow. But we set the LTV based off of this decision, right?
Okay. So, yeah, I was just trying to calculate real quick just so we could have context of how much give would that be. Does anyone do the math real quick? Yeah, 10 cents if we're borrowing 800K.
Yeah. Yeah, so 800K.
2 million.
Yeah, I mean, I guessed about 2.5.
Is it 20? I think it's 20 million give.
Yeah,
if my math is right. Yeah. Because we would need $8 million for 100% at 10 cents. So 250%. Or would it be twice that if we have a 50% LTV? It'd be 40 million give if we have 50%.
Well, I think the 50% LTV we can play with it, right? Because what's nice is we could set the LTV at 75% and just hit the supply cap, and then no one else can put in more give, And then if we need to put in more give, we raise the supply cap.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, totally. Okay. Well, so if we did that, I think it would be 30 mil if my math is right, but please correct me if I'm wrong. So could we do that? Could 30 million give? Yeah, if we wanted to have 250% for 10 cents with 75% LTV.
I mean, we have infinite give almost. Like, seriously, like,
Okay.
there's so much give. The impact here is how much that affects the market cap. So the optics on the market cap, which in some ways are good. It's like, oh, the market cap went up a lot, you know, and but also it means our angel vault needs to be bigger to like maintain the good optics.
Totally.
So okay, well we at least we have this target and we can go deeper into it in the actual parameterization, and we can adjust this, you know, if it's unreasonable. And so, because I was estimating 2.5 million give, which that would be at 25 cents. That would be 10 million give tokens total, I think. Yeah. So, is that right? I think it's right. 10 million give tokens. So that was like half as much as what this says we need. But if we assume that, let's just bring this back to some buffer, a 10 million market cap, right? So the goal here is how much Fei do we actually want to borrow, max and min. So the min number is easy, right? So if we say that we want to have, that we're gonna add all this give into the market, and now we're gonna have a much higher market cap. We'll have a $10 million market cap. Then we'll need 1 million give total. 1 million one give, and this to make the angel vault at the suggested amounts. So then, of course, one give is 20% give, so we don't need 1 million Fei, we need 800K Fei. So that's the minimum amount. But what if we overestimate, unfortunately, and a fuck ton of Fei ends up in our pool? Do we borrow more? And how much more would we want to borrow? There's a couple things to consider. And I think the way that we would probably want to scope it is on like the utilization rate. So this is kind of ugly. It's a little fuzzy. Sorry about that. This is like at 56% utilization. The deposit, our fee is 4%, and our deposit rate, like the rate that borrowers will get in Fei, is 1.75%. As it goes up at about 70%. It's we're only paying about 5% of a borrow rate, and deposit rate goes to 2.5 ish. So that's about 70%, and then the deposit rate goes up to 3.5 when we hit this 80% utilization, and we really never want it to go above 80% utilization, right? Like, because that's when you can see this chart is just going to go mad, and those are fees that the Fei that we actually have to pay, right? This borrow rate. So our borrow rate and our deposit rate, honestly, looking at this, barely changes, you know? From like 50% to 80%, yeah, it changes, but it's pretty small. They're all small numbers. So yeah, I feel like we would want to make sure that we don't, how much. Yeah, how do we manage this? What's the max amount that we would want to even borrow?
Can I just ask to understand quickly? So the utilization percentage is the amount of Fei that's deposited that's being borrowed, right? And then the borrow rate is the interest that we pay when we're borrowing. Mm-hmm. And then the deposit rate is?
The interest that the depositors get on their Fei.
That's the fee that they get in the Fei. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay, I get it. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And so, like, I've been estimating 70% deposit rate is like a target. 70% utilization rate as a target. And then, so that way we know how much, like, if 70% utilization is the target, then we'd want like about 1.2 million Fey deposited into our farm. So then we can borrow 800K and it not be like pushing the utilization rate. But then, like, what happens if they deposit 3 million Fey in our farm? Do we borrow more?
Only if you need it. Don't just do it just to do it, though.
I mean, if we do it, then we get a bigger angel vault. Does that add value? Not really.
Some, but up to a certain point, that'd be more of a Willie question, I think. Where does that end?
Yeah, I feel like it's like a percentage of our market cap, right? Like we want some percentage of our market cap, and over that is like, I mean, wouldn't it just be overkill? I feel like we should focus on, I mean, I want to know how we're going to pay back the loans before we think about, borrowing way more.
Yeah, so I can answer a little bit of both of those. So with the Angel Vault, you're right, we don't want it too strong, but the way the Angel Vault works, especially if we don't have a ton of emissions, which right now I think that's one of the big things that's been holding back Shapeshift's Angel Vault, is we're also emitting a ton of Fox via these bond programs right now to diversify the treasury, and the Angel Vault's been doing a really awesome job of like comforting the impact of those emissions. So if the Angel Vault works and you don't have a ton of emissions, then the price likely will go up, and then the market cap increases as a result of that. At the same time, when the price does go up, the give that is above the price, which, by the way, the DAO can also just decide to put some more give above the price in that Uniswap V3 pool itself to then help pay back these loans. Because as the price goes up, that give will get converted into one give. So that's definitely the hope, and there's a lot of good rationale for why it should work. Also, we were just this past week talking to Ichi. They've improved their whole kind of how through talking to 1inch. They've kind of improved their whole way for how they rebalance these vaults, so it's a little bit more conservative, and so that they're not always just like immediately moving up the wall right when the price goes up. I don't fully understand it, but it sounds like they had a really nice breakthrough this past week on like managing the Angel Vault and making it even better. So that was encouraging to hear. So what was the original question?
The original question is, how much is too much? We know the minimum we need is about 800K Fey-ish. Mm-hmm. I mean, we can calculate the minimum based off of this 10% of our market cap. Is there a maximum that we want to?
Yeah. Probably, I think if we're ever at a situation where we're like over 20% market cap, then that's probably too much. And what we'd want to do in a situation like that is like, maybe even just start paying back some of this loan, stack some more stables, put more give above the price, basically, so that we can stack stables, and that'd be a great situation to be in. Yeah.
It also depends on how the vault is working at that time too. We can always do more then.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so then do we just, I assume we just go for maybe even if there's 3 million Fey, we just go for effectively the minimum and launch?
Oh, like if there's 3 million Fey available to borrow, we only borrow 1 mil and launch it. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Yeah. And we can hope that, yeah.
We borrow 800K, or do we borrow up to 1 million and make the Angel Vault a little bit bigger if there's a lot of Fey sitting there?
Yeah, I think just 10% from Give side, because also part of the hope is that we'll get the community to do it. It's my favorite liquidity mining style program, right? Like if we're going to reward people for providing liquidity, let's pay them to provide the type of liquidity we really want that's most beneficial. So yeah, I think we shouldn't try and have more than 10% come from Giveth treasury. And I would expect that we'll see some come from the community. I'll put some in there. Yeah.
So no max, we just have our target, and that's 10% of the market cap.
Exactly. And if it starts to get just so strong because the community is depositing so much, then we can do other things to still make it beneficial for Giveth. That'll still be a good, not a bad problem to have, really. But what it could really cause just like Giveth's price to go up quite a bit, which will then kind of be a self-correcting problem too. Yeah, and I think we should try and target with the rewards, like what reward rate do we want, and let's calculate back to try and aim for, I think, not just 1 million of Fae in the pool, but I guess like 1.5 million, so that there is some extra room for people to withdraw.
Yeah, for sure. And there's going to be a lot of interesting calculations. Once we have our targets set, then we have to also calculate how much collateral do we put into the one give token, and so that enough one give can be minted. And there's a lot of details. But once we have the targets, then we can get those details.
Awesome.
And then borrowing strategy. So
put 800K of Fae, that is 10% of our market cap, right? That's where that number came from?
That's the estimate, yeah.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
It'll depend on how much over collateralization we do. But
For these,
yeah.
sorry, for how much over collateralization we do for these, and then also for one give, right?
Yep. And who knows what other random things come up that we have that we end up putting into taking out of non-circulating supply and adding to circulating supply. And I think it is an optics thing. I know it's silly because they're not really going to be circulating. They're going to be sitting here collateralizing alone. But the whole point of the Angel Vault is optics. And so even though we have to hit the optics, and that's the actual metric. Okay. Does anyone else have a comment on this? Should any opposed just sticking with 10% and that's our target, no wiggle room? Okay. Fae borrowing strategy. So there is going to be maybe our Fae marketing will be so good that on day one we get 800K deposited into this pool. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised. But barring that doesn't happen, let's say that's a little slow to uptake. Like, do we just leave it to the multi-sig to make their best judgments, or do we want? Sorry, I haven't talked about this yet, but I kind of think we should make a small sub multi-sig to manage all of this work. Should we have some kind of rules about when we actually borrow the Fae, or do we leave it up to the people who are looking at it? So, like, I guess maybe I'll come to this in a second. Let's talk about, let's go back to that in a second. Let's go to source of give for the loan. So, like, should we be, I think the previous discussion was that we pull as much give out of the garden as we can, and then use all the rest from the liquidity multi-sig. And then we have the NR give. We just try to get a vote on all three platforms since it's such a huge thing. And then the NR give can provide the streaming rewards and have a vote there. And so we could get liquidity, multi-sig, and gardens putting in. And then NR give would do the rewards stream. Although NR give can also put in too. Anyone have a strong opinion on this?
I have more of a question. If you have that's 3 votes you're going with, then, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if one of them says no, does that mean that the other 2 would pick up the slack, or is it just means collapse the whole system?
Well,
Collapse the whole thing.
yeah, but it's also not really no's. I mean, like the liquidity multi-sig, we just get signers to sign. And the garden isn't really a no, it just takes too long instead of, we have to parameterize it to make sure that we get enough support on the proposal, but it's not going to be challenged.
For the liquidity multi-sig, it would be a snapshot.
Okay.
And that's probably the first one. We put them all up, but the snapshot vote is probably the one that's the most dominant vote. And I would imagine the other ones would just pass.
Yeah. That sounds good. I think we have so much give in the gift garden. It's a great place to get give from.
Yeah.
I have a
the multi-sig, yeah.
Yeah.
But isn't the given the liquidity? Oh, sorry, Kotavi, but quickly, isn't the given the liquidity multi-sig excluded from our circulating supply?
Yeah. And so is it in the Give Garden and the NR Give. Katabe?
My stupid question is, I want to know. I don't know how much give there is like on gardens on NR give. Like, how can I see like how is the treasury composed?
So I actually have this spreadsheet where I track all these things, and it's not updated because I update it on the 1st of the month, and it's the 29th. So it's about as out of date as it gets, unfortunately, but I can show. Okay, so on April 1st, the Give Garden had 16 million give. The NR Give had 3 million give. And Liquidity Safe. Liquidity Safe has this much, these two. So 21 million give in the Liquidity Safe. And then there's a couple other things, but obviously those are not like anywhere near. They're like in the thousands. So our big pools are Give Garden, which gets a stream every like pretty often. In fact, if you want, you can put the stream and move millions of dollars with a click of a button. It's like anybody can. I have it in the spreadsheet actually, how to call the function to like make this, basically harvest the stream for that pool. So there's like a stream rate for that pool that's pretty high for all these pools. So they're actually getting continuous funding from the give stream. So not only is there a bunch of money in there, they actually have their own kind of revenue where they're getting more money, more give tokens streamed.
Nice.
Except for actually the Give and Liquidity Safe does not get a stream. Just NR Give and Give Garden. I'm sorry. Okay, so yeah.
Are those numbers a bit low? I mean, if we are aiming for this worst case scenario that Willie was calculating, this 25 million.
You know what? Actually, I'm pretty sure that these numbers are US dollars. Now that I think about it.
Okay.
These are actually US dollars. That's why it's moving so much. So in actual give, it would be like multiplied by 3.
Okay.
Each of these numbers. Yeah, because the liquidity multi-safe, the liquidity safe should have 65 million give in it.
Okay, that makes sense. All good.
Okay, so then, yeah, give from a bunch of sources and shake it out. Is there any preference or any thoughts? Okay, moving on then. Where does the give go? This is a more juicy question. So we have all these multi-sigs and they're great, but there's 7 of 15-ish multi-sigs, and it's kind of a lot of work to get 7 signatures. It might be, since we're doing some time-dependent things, maybe we should like take the active people who especially are in the know about this action and make a multi-sig, so that all of these votes would actually give money to like a 3 of 5 multi-sig. And then on that multi-sig, we could actually just like set a 15-minute call and I'll push the buttons for the same thing when we need, and we can take faster actions. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, I'm open to it. The other alternative, I guess, would be just using the liquidity multi-sig, but this is just a slightly smaller group that could be a little more nimble. Yeah, I think it makes sense. It's not a lot of work to keep track of or to make a new multi-sig. Just a little bit of extra effort to keep track of them all, and probably worth that effort to then have to coordinate fewer people. And it'll be smaller risks on the full liquidity multi-sig, so it makes sense to have a slightly smaller group.
Any opposition to that? This is where we keep track of the multi-sigs.
Nice. And we already got the spreadsheet for keeping track of it. So that's the hard part.
Yeah, so this is the current multi-sig. Yeah, for liquidity.
4.
I would like to have 3 signatures, honestly, on any of these multi-million-dollar transactions.
Cool. So we do 3 of 5.
Yeah, probably. I want 3 signatures. It could even be a 3 of 6 if we wanted. Or we use the liquidity multi-sig. I mean, no strong objections one way or another.
I think making it the smaller multi-sig is better. I think the cat herding with the liquidity multi-sig might be kind of like more effort, and it would be nice to kind of like have a multi-sig with the people who are in awareness of like what's going on and what the transactions are. Otherwise, it's just like cat herding, asking people to sign blindly if they're not involved.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think we should have the same requirements of like you have to have an NR Give token to be a member of these of this kind of multi-sig, and the clear requirements like even though, for instance, like Giant Kin and Todd and Yas, like you guys are like going to be a major part of pushing this forward. You can't be on the multi-sig because you haven't worked with us for more than 3 months. You know, these like basic these standard requirements of like trust. So, but okay, cool. Let's keep moving then. A repayment strategy. So when we take this loan out, we're not spending the money, which is really interesting, right? We're taking the loan out. Now the FEI could get converted into Give tokens or turn the FEI into 1Give, and then 1Give could get turned into Give tokens. And that's like a real risk for sure. But we'll always have extra collateral backing this. And then so we can take the money back to pay back the loan whenever we want. But the end goal is to actually have a lot of this be controlled by us. So the interest rate's really small. I mean, if we wanted to, like keeping this pool up is not that bad. It's like $40K a year to pay the interest on this. But then we also have the Give stream, that we're paying to keep the incentives high. So I guess the big thing is like, how do we repay this loan? How long do we want it to take? These sorts of questions. We're almost out of time, but this is like a really important one. I think Willie mentioned, and I think it's also a great idea, we put up a UniV3 pool and like with just a bunch of Give in it. And that way, if the price goes up, we're selling for FEI and we can always pull that out and pay it down and maybe make a plan around that. And make a price target and just put a bunch of Give up so we can buy this, which would be interesting. I don't know if anyone else has any other repayment strategies though.
Just very quickly, I really like that idea, and just to make sure that I have an assumption that is correct. Actually, 1Give will be a source of Give demand, right? Because when people mint they put the Give inside, but when they turn it into stable token, then it's only stable token, and that makes that is more demand for Give, and so that in theory will make the price go up, right? Is that how it works?
Totally. Yeah. In order to mint more 1Give, you'll need Give from somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah. One of the things that I'm uncertain about is whether or not, I have this assumption that Ichi arbitrages the USDC and 1Give and uses that as a profit-making mechanism. Do you know if that's true?
The Shapeshift DAO has actually done that, and we've been able to turn like over $500,000 of Fox into USDC without any sell pressure on Fox by arbing that pool, by basically minting minting one Fox and trading it for USDC when there's more USDC in the pool than one Fox. So that is the other way that people will get one Give or one Fox, is they'll just buy it on Uniswap v3 with Fei or whatever token it's paired with. And then that creates an excellent ARB opportunity where you can actually take, like, let's say, we have a pool with $1 million in there. We could trade $200,000, for instance, of one Give, which would be $40,000 worth of Give for like $201,000 or $200,500 of Fei, with no sell pressure on Give, which is pretty awesome. So that is definitely one strategy we can employ to help pay this loan back, and we should do that. It's also just beneficial to keep that pool balanced.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
What else was I gonna say? Yeah. And I like we can put that liquidity just right in that Angel Vault pool and do it in a way where it's spread out far enough where it's still, we have much stronger buy wall, but it's a great way to diversify the treasury. Again, without unlike the Olympus bonds, which right now we're having a lot of conversations around Shapeshift around how do we wind these down because the impact of the emissions is so strong. We're seeing it.
Yeah. Mercenaries just selling your token, right?
And right now it's the DAO selling it. We're raising I think it's like $3.5 million per month basically from these bond programs, and we're putting Fox out. It's and most of it's just directly hitting the market. So it's almost like the DAO is just selling Fox on the market. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you're selling it to users who end up selling it, I assume.
Exactly. That's what we've seen. They're not, some of them are holding it, but most of them are just selling it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Any other, interesting repayment strategies? Girl Scout cookies? No.
There is the same Ichi market making deal that we're about to do with them at Shapeshift DAO. Have you guys heard about the details of this yet? So Ichis, I can actually I'll share my screen real quick and I'll show you the details of the deal that we're doing with them with Shapeshift because I have it pulled up. Let's see. So in the deal,
sorry to go long. If you guys have another call and you have to run, you can. But I don't have a call right now, so I'm excited to go a little long.
Okay, sweet. So yeah, I think we can definitely ask Ichi to offer us this deal. They're offering it to Shapeshift, and they're building up a network of institutional investors that want to provide capital to this type of deal. And it's similar to traditional market makers. So what Shapeshift DAO is about to do is we're going to loan 2.5 million Fox tokens to Ichi DAO. And then Ichi DAO is going to deposit those Fox tokens to Uniswap v3 between 25% above current price and about 4x current price. And then what Ichi DAO is going to do with this this market maker funds is they're actually going to deposit $1 million of one Fox to the one Fox Angel Vault. And a cool side effect is that they're also going to be, for the $200,000 of Fox they'll need to do this, they'll be buying that on the open market. So they're going to buy Fox, they're going to deposit one Fox into the Angel Vault to give us a stronger Angel Vault. And then at the end of the 6 months, they're going to repay the loan in one of the following options. So Shapeshift DAO will either get back for every $800,000 of Fox that we loan, basically, we're either going to get back $1 million of one Fox Angel Vault LP, or we'll get back 2.5. We'll get back the Fox that we lent them, basically. Whether or not this happens is if Fox goes up 25% or more, then we'll get 1 million. If Fox doesn't go up 25% or more, then we'll get the Fox tokens back. So they're interested in offering this deal to more of their partners that have strong Angel Vaults. We will be one of those potential partners. We can ask them if they'll offer the same deal to Giveth.
Cool. And now with this deal, why wouldn't we just do this ourselves? Why wouldn't we just put our own?
Absolutely. And we could also potentially do a mixture of this. I think part of the benefit of this is that it does give us a stronger Angel Vault, but we already have another plan for getting the strong Angel Vault. So yeah, I think the other alternative is for us to just do this ourselves, because the downside of this is that if the price does go up all that much, we only get 25% upside and the market makers get the rest of it. So I wanted to throw it out there because it is another option.
I guess the benefit is that they then put in 1 million one Fox.
Exactly.
So it's like a loan, and then we get a stronger Angel Vault.
Exactly. And it's low risk, and at the end we either get back the funds or we get back the original tokens. But yeah, to your point, one of the biggest drawbacks is that we could also do it ourselves and get all that upside.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is definitely what we should do to score some money is put some of our tokens in the Uni V3 pool, and like probably at it wouldn't just be one NFT. I'm thinking it would be like a couple of staggered, like a few smaller positions going up the system, up the range, and then when one gets fully cleared, we take it out, we have Fey, we pay back the loan. And the next one gets clean, take it out, pay back the loan. And so, yeah.
Yeah, I like that. And last thing I'll say is that I agree with what you said originally, that the loan isn't really too expensive, and it's not the worst if we have this loan for a year, because what it does is it buys us time, and it's pretty amazing that we can take this Give token that we've created and we can borrow real valuable currency for it and add liquidity to the market and stuff. And what we need is time, right? We're the type of community where we're not just here to hype stuff up and run away with a bunch of money. Like, we're building for the long term, and we have such a great rhythm going and stuff, and we just need some time. So if this can buy us time, like, ultimately Give is only going to be valuable if we achieve this vision in the long term, right? And if this buys us time to help us achieve that vision, that's really valuable, and it's worth some interest in the short term. If it, like, honestly, paying $40,000 a year to be able to get $1 million of liquidity is a pretty great deal, especially when we're using our Give token as collateral, and have a ton of it to use to over collateralize it and really make it a low chance that we'll ever get liquidated. So, yeah, I think it's a great strategy, and we should definitely pay back that loan if we can. But also, if we can also just stack stables in the treasury and stuff and still have that loan, that's not the worst either, because it's such a low interest rate.
Yeah. Totally. Okay, so what do you guys think about meeting on Tuesday and going through like the real parameterization? Would that work for you guys? I'm basically free all evening on Tuesday, like after 1 p.m. And I don't know. I know Giant Kin needs to be there. I don't know if anyone else wants to be there, but now that I think we have most of these questions with a solid understanding, we can go forward and actually set what we want in this pool. Like, we can go and calculate the numbers, and I can come up with some pre-calculated numbers, and then we can adjust them together.
Yeah, let's do it.
Full parameter party.
Ooh. Yeah.
Let's do it. Do you want to pick a time right now?
Yeah, I mean, on Monday I won't have all these slots, but I'm free after 1 p.m. on Tuesday, the rest of the day.
Me too.
1 p.m. What time zone?
That's Mountain, I think.
Nice. I got 1 to 1:30 free, or 2:30 to 3 free.
1 to 1:30.
Nice.
You guys, you pick.
Oh, Giant Kin is not. Giant Kin can't hear us. Damn.
Giant Kin!
He's ignoring us.
If I yell louder, it'll get through his deafening.
I don't think so. But I'll message him because he's critical.
Yeah, tell Giant Kin to pick between 1 to 1:30 and 2 to 2:30, because it would be great to have Willie there for sure.
Yeah, maybe. It was 2:30 to 3, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's right. Sorry.
I'm just gonna block off 1 to 3, and it can be like a hack session, and maybe Willie can pop in and out.
Sweet.
Great.
Thank you guys for. I want to join, so thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, well, and of course we want you there, Willie. Thank you so much, man.
Yeah, Willie, you're the best.
And does anyone else have any blockers for 1 to 3 on Tuesday?
Costa Rica time.
Costa Rica time, Denver time.
Send it to
cool.
Giveth.io to Giveth.io at Gmail, and it can be on the Giveth calendar.
Absolutely. I'll put it on I'll put the same invite out that has everybody's email on it. Great. So look for the calendar invite. And if you guys have any thoughts that you didn't feel courageous enough to jump in, put it in this notes doc that I was sharing before, and I put in the governance channel. Put your thoughts there. I will summarize this into a forum post and then get to work so we can be ready to hit the ground running on Tuesday and get this thing out. Thank you for the sense-making time. Oh, actually, maybe I'll make a quick pass around because I want to hear everyone's thoughts. So, thank you guys so much for jumping in and supporting, watching me, Willie, and Lauren talk mostly. And Katabe got in there too, but it's still good to have you here to keep us honest. I'll pass it to Todd. Oh no, your mic's not working. Yeah, and if there's any questions that you still have, this is a great time to ask it too. No, can't hear you. That's okay. Try to come back and whatever. I'll pass it to Kotame.
Well, this was awesome. Like, super, super interesting, amazing. Thanks, Will, for all the insights and great from Lauren. Thanks everyone for being here. Yeah, I'll pass it to Rob.
No, you have the same mic problem as Todd.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it's been good to listen. I'm slowly putting the pieces together. I think maybe for next week, it'd be great if, I'm not sure if this is completely necessary, but actually putting together kind of the calculations in a Google Sheet so we can kind of do a scenario building or simulation for different allocations of capital. So that would, something I'd be happy to support on. I just don't know the math. But.
Nice. I have an early one of that already, actually. I'll throw it in the governance chat and make sure it's visible. It's not shareable now.
I'll throw it to Katabe, yeah.
Oh, Katabe already went.
Oh, shoot. Willie, you want to go?
Thanks, Todd. This is awesome. Thank you, everyone, for the contributions, and huge shout out to Griff for. I'm always amazed at their ability to take these like big, complex things and just like break it down to like, here's each step, and actually each step, if you just think about that one at a time, it makes sense. And this is awesome. I'm really glad that we're pushing forward with this. So thank you, everybody, for being open to this, like what seems like a wild strategy and stuff. I'm excited to see how this works out, and I'm optimistic. I'll pass to Laura.
Yeah, that was great. So great, man. It's true what you just said about Griff breaking it down. He made it so easy, and then you came in, you had so many good answers. And so I think it's really valuable to have you both on the team. And I just ask questions and try to figure things out so that I can make them make sense later. But you guys are great, and I'm glad for everybody to be on this call. And I'll pass it to Suga.
Had an ice cream catastrophe, so I don't actually know what I had some dessert situation going on, so I didn't actually hear the last 5 minutes. So I don't know what I'm supposed to say, but I love you all. I'm just super excited to listen in and hear what all the geniuses are concocting, and I'm happy to be part of it. I will pass it to, who do I pass it to? Jess?
Oh, me? Okay, great. Oh no, so for me is so I'm excited to be here today. There's a lot of new things for me, like a new concept. Yeah, but I'm excited to be here. Thanks. And I'll pass it to Surab.
Param still has like a mic issue, I think. But we can pass it to Dow Steve.
Okay.
What is going on with mics today?
The mic issue is contagious.
That's why nobody else was talking during the call. They were trying. Maybe yes?
No, it's still not working.
I think you can hear me, right?
Yeah.
Thank you all for this amazing call. The pieces are falling together more and more, and it's becoming more clear what we're going to do compared to 3 weeks ago. And super psyched about the call next week as well, once we have the math and the parameters kind of also putting them together. So really, really looking forward to finalizing this thing within a week.
Yeah.
I'll pass it to... I don't know, I think Steve's mic is still not working.
No.
Who else?
Giant Kin. Just final thoughts, Giant Kin. We lost you first during the call, but
yeah, I had that customer walk in right then. I just walked in, so I don't know what's going on.
final thoughts. Just closing thoughts.
I'm excited. I'm hoping everything works well. That's all I got. I don't know.
Cool. Well, can you make 1:30? Sorry, Denver time. 1 to 3 o'clock. Tuesday. Giant King.
I gotta look at my calendar and shapeshift, right? I should be okay though. Tuesday?
Yeah, Denver time.
That's yeah, I'm alright. As long as I start, I'm good. Yeah.
Okay. And then last chance for Saurabh and Dow Steve to say any final thoughts. No.
So funny.
No, that's too bad. Sorry, Discord blocked you. But thank you all. Thank you all for coming.